Well, hello everyone. How are you? I hope you're doing very well. I just thank you again for coming to see how things are going with me today. Before I get started, I am going to say something I don't like to say, and I'm beginning to say it. Please, if you can, if you're watching this and you feel inspired at all, please like, share, follow. If you're on my YouTube channel, please subscribe, like, comment, whatever you can do to help push me into the algorithm for others. I just really want to share my story and be able to encourage everyone that this can touch. So if you can be a part of supporting me in that, I really would like that. For those that are not on my YouTube channel, you can find me by searching Lighthouse for the Lost, and that's the number 4. That is, I just want, God is a light in a dark place, and people can seek refuge in Him through when they're lost, whenever they are, experiencing a storm or just not able to see where they're headed. So I right now have no idea where I'm headed, right? So I'm in the middle of job searching. I'm in the middle of a change because at the end of the day, I'm not going to work in distribution. Not that I can imagine, because I'm not necessarily interested in working for my company's competitors. And it's a very unique industry. So could I end up working for some of our customers or partners? Yeah, maybe. And that's something I'm looking into. But, at the end of the day, I am likely moving industries. Okay. So I don't know where I'm going, and I can't even think of where I'm going, because I know God has a plan for me, but I don't know what that is. So, just remember that, the Lord's here to support us in these moments of uncertainty. And that's where I came up with the Lighthouse for the Lost. Because to me, that's kind of what God is. That's what Jesus is. So yeah, that's where it came from. If you can, please, I hate asking that, right? But it's not for me, it's for others. So please, if you can, I do appreciate it. So let's just jump in. It's been a week since I've been unemployed. So almost, actually, I think it was, yeah. So it's been a week since I sat on this porch and talked to you guys, because that was last Wednesday that I posted my first video, I believe. And a lot has happened since then. I've shared a lot of the joyous stuff, the happy things, my daily routines, and just having more time for myself and the things I want to do. And there's still a ton of things that I want to be able to do. So looking forward to continue to check stuff off my list. But let's talk a little bit about the job search, right? Because I am still up against, the fact that I'm unemployed, and at some point resources run out. So it's still something that's on my heart and mind. It's still something I'm actively working for fixing. I need a solution. I need to have a little hint given to me on where I'm headed to go. So I did have an interview yesterday. I did share that. I had an interview today, which I mentioned was coming. Neither of those are necessarily fruitful in the sense of, I have a job offer that I think I'm going to be a good fit for. The one yesterday, they want to do a background check and verify my references. So I'm expecting that there's going to be some type of offer given to me for that. I just don't know that I would take it. And the one today, there's nothing available at the company right now. They do feel that I would be a good candidate for a different role that's expected to come in the summer, so a couple months from now. If I'm still searching, they're willing to consider me for that. And the recruiter is going to stay in contact with me between now and then as well. She was amazing. I do want to spend some time talking about her, because this is the kind of person, I hope that I am or could be for someone else. But someone that, we should all strive to be. So this is a woman who owes me literally nothing. She doesn't know me. In fact, I'm in a position where I need to prove myself to her. but through our conversation, just, we built relationship with each other a little bit, just during that questioning situation. It turns out that she was recently laid off. She's been employed where she's at currently, just a few months. So went through a similar experience, and in that, wants to lift me up so that I'm not feeling the things that she was dealing with. And I thought that was really sweet. She just started giving me some, from a recruiter standpoint, some industry tidbits on things that I can do to help market myself, to help stay on top of searches, and just basically how can I get attention to my LinkedIn profile, what kinds of things that people are looking for. And she said more than one time, even if it's not with us, I want to help you find something, stay in touch with me. And she didn't have to do that. It's not her job to find me a job, especially if it's not the company she's recruiting for. So, I just thought that was really sweet. And I told her that. I was just so struck by her kindness. And, that's what we need to be for other people. We should always be looking for opportunity to use the things that we went through and make them beautiful by helping somebody else who's going through that. That is part of what I was reading in that book. So I shared yesterday for a brief moment, but those who are on TikTok and didn't see it, I got a book. It's by Matthew West, and it's just a journey for God's plan. It's a 30-day devotional talking about, your story. And there's a lot of pieces to that. But one of the pieces is, sharing your story, because God takes the good, the bad, and the ugly. He wants to heal you from that bad and that ugly, and use what you went through to bring glory to the kingdom, to honor the Father. But also, how we do that, how we bring glory to the kingdom, is by using those experiences to shine light onto others, to hold back the darkness for others. To push through and help people in situations that we've experienced, or, at least can sympathize with because of, different walks that we had. So exactly like that recruiter did for me today, saying, I've been there. I know how much that sucks. I know how hard that is. I know how scary that is. She used that word, scary. And that's probably what it is. That's what it is. That's what gets me sometimes. I don't know if you heard that little bit of a choke whenever I said that, but that's what it is that worries me, is just, it's scary because I don't know. I trust the Father in the situation, but I am still in the dark. He hasn't really given me any real words of, what direction we're headed here. So, I do believe that this is about faith right now. And that's a thing that I need. I am I don't want to call myself a control freak, but I'm a planner. I like to know what's going to happen and when it's going to happen. And I, micromanage a lot in my life. And, this is a moment where I just have to give it away. And I did, because, I don't have to deal with it. But, having a hands-off approach to my future is not something I'm used to. And it can be difficult sometimes. It's very difficult for me to sit back and watch things. Especially, it's me, right? Sitting back and watching my kids do something that they're not very good at is one thing, and that is hard for me. But for me to sit back and watch me, that's hard. So, I'm watching God, and I trust him because he knows much more than I do. And he knows what I need when I don't even know what I need sometimes, because I only know what I can see, what I've experienced. I don't know what's all available, what's out there. I don't know, the intricate details that he does. So, I trust him, but it's hard. Waiting is hard. I'm a very patient person, but I'm not patient with my life. And that comes to that whole control and just wanting to be on top of everything. So, this is a lesson for me, something I'm going to get to walk through, and something I hope to learn from. But I don't know where I was going with that, if I'm being honest. I was talking about the book, so I'm going to go back to that because this was something that was said in this devotional today was, there's a lot of ugly parts of our story. There's parts that we like to hide. There's parts that we don't want people to know about. I think everyone has their own personal secrets. The thing is, whether you believe in him or not, God knows. He knows your dark secrets. He knows what you've done. He knows what people have done to you. He knows the times that you have sinned. He knows the times that you've cried out for him. So, don't be afraid to share those things. What it said in the book today that really, struck my heart was we all try to hide those parts of ourselves. We feel shame, we feel guilt, we feel regret, whatever it is, the emotion, the negative emotion attached to those memories. We don't want other people to see us in those ways. That's the kind of stuff the enemy says. Those are the kind of emotions the enemy shares. What if the parts of your story that you do not like to share, what if the parts of your story that you're hiding are the parts that God wants to use to share and give light to others? This process I'm going through is not easy. It's easier with faith. Absolutely. It's easier because I've already been through situations where I didn't know what my future was. I will talk real quick. I'll go into a lot more detail at a different time, but my pregnancy with with the youngest, but my child, my first biological child, I was in a bad situation. I was in a bad situation financially, emotionally. I didn't have a place to live. I knew that there's going to be no father figure for this child. I went against everything I worked for my life. I was going through a period where I was making a bunch of mistakes, and that mistake led to getting pregnant. And that was so shameful for me because it wasn't me. It's not what I worked for. So I had to deal with that. I had to deal with fighting those emotions of, doing exactly what I was working to not do. Fight through the emotions of that negative and evil voice in my ear talking to me about how, things were not going to work out for the good, and in that, how bad of a person I am, and what did I do to this future child. Like I said, financially, I did not have what I needed, let alone what I would need to bring in life, to take care of someone. The house that I was living in at the beginning of my pregnancy was not the kind of place that you want a child to be in, at least, not my standards. And, at one point we even lost that place. So like I was somewhere that I wouldn't have even wanted, I didn't even want to live. And then I had nowhere. Thankfully, my mom was able to bring me in and offer me the resources that she had, but it's still not I wouldn't have been able to stay there. I mean, she would have allowed it, but it still wouldn't have been the right place for me to raise a child, just because there wasn't a lot of resources, there wasn't a lot of space. So God took me through a whole journey, those 9 months, changing me, teaching me, showing me his mercies, his grace, the miracles. I mean, nothing, like I had faith before, but going through that process with him, step by step every day, that prepared me for this, because I now have my child, I have a husband, I have another child. Even though I'm worried about losing my home, I have a place, I have a safe place. I have, a savings. It's not a lot, but I have something. I have so much more physical things that I have. My emotional health, my mental health, so much better than it was then. So the only thing that I need to do is trust him, you know, and I've trusted him before, and I've seen how he pulls things together. So it is a story that I can share. That's why I'm doing this. I never would have done this during my pregnancy. Holy smokes. I couldn't even talk about it with people I was close with. Not my real feelings. I mean, after it happened, after things got better, I started to share that, and there was multiple people who told me, like, I didn't even know. Like, I didn't know you were struggling like that because I hid it. And I shouldn't have hid it. You know, I'm glad that I got to share it. And here's the thing too. I was blessed to know that my story was an inspiration for somebody else who ended up going through something similar, and they saw the tail end of that situation, and they saw how I handled it, and that gave them the courage to handle it. That situation in my life has given me opportunity to speak to people, to share, like, having that dark time in my life, not just the pregnancy, but, you know, what led up to that, has given me opportunity to have intimate conversations and connect with others who needed it. I didn't know that they needed it, and some of the times it wasn't right then that they needed it, but because I shared something so personal, and offered encouragement to them, they, you know, were able to reflect on that, and then later came to me. It was like, hey, I'm dealing with this and I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle this. And, you know, very different situations, but still, like, needing encouragement, needing faith, needing, you know, help. And they just knew that they could come to me for that because they knew that I've been through things. So, you know, I mentioned the other day, like, this world sucks. There's a lot of things that happen to people. There's a lot of things that we do to others, you know, and we have to live with that. I know people in my life who might even be watching this video who struggle with forgiving themselves. And no matter what you do, no matter what's been done to you, God can make anything beautiful. And one of the ways that he makes it beautiful, besides fixing you, is using you to fix others. And that's beautiful. So that was the first devotional chapter. That's what that was about. It's what this is about. It's why I'm doing this. I'm so excited about that book. I just couldn't believe that, like, the book came out right as I got started with this with you guys, because it's what I want. I want to share my story for his glory. I want to encourage you guys. I want to uplift you guys. I want you to know that no matter where you're at in your journey of faith, whether you haven't even gotten started or you fell off the wagon multiple times, whether you've been hurt by the church, whatever the reason is, wherever you are, I only pray. Not only, that's very important. Prayer is very important, but, like, I can only pray that you guys hear the Holy Spirit calling to you, and that the words that I say, the experiences that I'm having, they be able to bring encouragement and hope to you, because that's, I mean, I'm going through this whether that happens or not, but, you know, that makes it worth it. So I'm going to end things now. I am trying to keep these as close to 10 minutes as possible, but there are times that I go over. So if you're on TikTok, but you have a YouTube, or you'd be interested in following me on YouTube, I do encourage you to look up Lighthouse for the Lost. There are going to be times I don't post the full video in multiple parts because I just don't think that that's the right thing to do. When I feel like it is, like today, I will. But you might miss stuff. So if you're interested in hearing everything, please follow me. You also get notifications whenever I'm getting ready to drop the daily video. So it doesn't really matter where you watch this. It doesn't even matter if you watch it, you know, as in it doesn't affect me. I just want this to be something good for you. So if you need anything, if you would like to talk about anything, I would love to talk to you. So thank you so much again for coming and watching this today. I really do appreciate it. And thank you so much to everyone who's been continuing to reach out. Please don't stop. I am reaching the end of the job market listings that I have found. I'm still looking, of course, but at this point, I have applied to pretty much everything I want to apply to. So we'll see. But thank you so much, everyone. I hope you have a wonderful day and take care.